This evening, one Meadowbrook family lives in terror after neighbors ransack their home. State Asset Recovery Agency to host anti-corruption march. The PPP plans to revive the Little C in 2020. And we bring you the top regional and international headlines of the day.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Bramble Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Today is Thursday, April the 19th, 2018, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. The State Assets Recovery Agency, or SARA, wants to let the general public know that fighting corruption is everyone's business, and to kick off the campaign, they're hosting a march. Despite the opposition leader's objection to the march, the agency plans to go full steam ahead with their efforts. Years ago, the United Nations observed that much of the growth in the developing world has been stymied by corruption. In 2016, the International Monetary Fund estimated that corruption cost the global economy over $2 trillion annually. To combat this trend, the United Nations passed a resolution in 2003 to recover assets stolen from individual member states. Guyana is one of the signatories. Though Guyana had signed on to the resolution, the relevant agency was never formed. That is until April of 2017. The coalition government implemented the State Assets Recovery Agency. Melissa Davey explains.
The main function of SARA is to recover assets that were illegally taken from the state, and also to put measures in place to prevent assets being taken from the states in the future. So one function is to take back or recover. The other function is to ensure that preventative measures are in place.
Overall, SOCU is responsible for criminal charges stemming from corruption, while SARA is tasked with the asset recovery. To garner public awareness, SARA has planned a symbolic march against corruption taking place on Friday.
The march starts at around 3 p.m. tomorrow, and the assembly point is Camp and Lamaha Street. And so we are going to be transforming the Camp Street Avenue into what we call the Walk Against Corruption. So we will be erecting 27 permanent anti-corruption signs on both sides of the avenue, which will stretch from Lamaha Street to Church Street.
All sections of civil society are invited to the march, including the leader of the opposition, Bharat Jagdeo. He responded negatively to the invite. In fact, the opposition leader came out to boycott the march, calling it a smokescreen and the agency itself a, quote, state-sponsored witch hunt. SARA is unbothered by such criticisms.
We don't view criticisms in a negative light. We view criticisms in a positive light. And we believe that, persons have the right to express themselves. And we are very happy that persons are talking about this whole march against corruption.
Davey emphasized that the fight against corruption doesn't end with SARA. Like the theme of the march says, fighting corruption is everyone's business.
Very soon, we're going to have on our social media page what we call Citizens Report Card. And persons will be able to download that report card, and they will be able to use it to conduct social audits within the education system, within the system of agriculture, within, or I should say, for public infrastructure projects and the like.
Okay, so it's like...
And then they can forward that information back to SARA, and we can use it as a springboard to conduct investigations.
The agency hopes that by using social media, the general public will be able to prevent future instances of corruption by the theft of state assets. This morning, PPP Member of Parliament and former Attorney General Anil Nandalal filed charges of misconduct in public office against Minister of Public Health Volda Lawrence and former Minister of Public Health Dr. George Norton. The private charges against Norton are in relation to the Sussex Street bond rental issue. Lawrence's charges stem from the emergency purchase of drugs for the Georgetown Hospital. In the private charge presented to the chief magistrate, Nandalal contends that in both cases there was misconduct in public office and abuse of public trust. Though charges were filed against Lawrence in the past for this purchase, she was cleared of any wrongdoing by the Public Procurement Commission's investigation. When reminded about the Public Procurement Report, which cleared Lawrence, Edgell, Minister of Parliament Edgell, said the charges have been filed based on information that the PPP has in its possession. Lawrence and Norton will make their first appearance in court next week. Minister of State Joseph Harmon responded to the charges, saying in a statement, quote, "The charges that were filed today against the current and former Minister of Public Health is the PPP's cowardly attempt to draw public attention away from its own sordid record of corruption while in office." During his weekly press conference, Leader of the Opposition, Bharat Jagdeo, spoke of his plans for the 2020 elections. These plans include reviving the civic arm of the party, pressing charges against government officials, and choosing a presidential candidate, among other things. Here's Wendell Jeffrey.
George, today here in Church Street at the office of the opposition leader, Bharat Jagdeo, had his weekly press conference, and a number of topical and eyebrow-raising discussions came to the floor. For instance, when asked if he would be open to a third term, given the fact of the challenge that now obtains at the Caribbean Court of Justice, he did not deny that he would accept the nomination of the party to run for the third term.
I have a job now. I don't, frankly speaking, to tell you the truth, competitive politics to me, and having to go to, let me answer it differently. Having to go to cocktails and receptions and accrediting ambassadors and listening, having courtesy calls, and a whole range of those things that go with the presidency, they don't attract me, cutting ribbons, etc.
He skirted the issue, but in essence you could hear him say that he would not deny that he would want to run again as the president, for the position of the president. And of course, I asked him because only a couple of days ago I had an exclusive interview with past President Donald Ramotar, and Mr. Ramotar himself expressed the desire that given the opportunity, he would want to run for another term representing the PPP.
Turn down a nomination to that position?
But I've never turned down my party's request at no time. I've always tried to discharge my responsibility to the PPP to the best of my ability.
When asked what are his thoughts on that, you will hear how the former president answered that.
Ramotar is free to think what he wants and say what he wants. It's a free country. That's all.
Since he said that Donald Ramotar can say what he likes, that he's a free citizen. Also coming out of the press conference today is the former president saying that there will be a revival of the civic arm of the PPP, where they will bring in parties who want to be a part and civic-minded persons. So there will be a revival of the C in the PPPC as they head into the 2020 elections.
Our party will work on a compact with civil society before the next elections to promise them a series and get the involvement of civil society with us in terms of ideas and people. We will make some promises to civil society about the types of policies we want to pursue, which could very well include constitutional reform, the financing of political parties reform, making sure that we have legislation, things that they're being concerned about. We are going to broadly outline what we want for Guyana. What kinds of policies? They must be pro-poor, pro-wealth creation, inclusive of every race, every religion. And any party that wants to be part of that collective that pursues, which pursues those dreams, would have a space.
George, you will also hear that the former president is saying that they have laid charges today against some ministers of the government, charging them with corruption. When he was asked if this is not tit for tat, given the fact that Dr. Ashley Singh and Winston Brassington have been charged for corruption, he said, well, it's not really tit for tat, that the charges were going to come, but that given the fact that the government has pursued charges against these two affiliates of the PPP, that they have decided that they will institute charges against some of the ministers of the government.
I've been talking about this, about private criminal charges for a while now. They would have come up, but maybe slightly differently, because what they did is they defined what is misconduct in public office. And so these are 1 million times more egregious.
Also coming out to the press conference, the former president said that the government had accused them of opening all these accounts, some 300 bank accounts, and that they were using them for slush funds, and yet the former president is saying, where are the charges that are associated with these audits that were done, that they said pointed out all these criminal irregularities, and he's saying there was no truth to that, there was never any truth to that, or by now there should have been charges leveled at those who should have been held accountable. Were there indeed mismanagement and criminal mismanagement of these finances? So there you have it, George.
Thanks, Wendell. Don't go away. Coming up after the break. Middlebrook family lives in terror after neighbors ransack their home. But first, here's today's foreign currency exchange rate. For the latest in news from Guyana, the region, and beyond, visit our website, headlinenewsguyana.com.
The Big King you love just chickened out. Introducing the new Chicken Big King with 2 crispy chicken patties and our signature king sauce. The new Chicken Big King, now part of our Burger King favorites. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
For all your floor covering needs, Kissoons has you covered. From wall-to-wall carpets, runners, rugs in all sizes and designs, mats for all entranceways, vinyl and rubber tiles too. And with our vast stock and knowledge, you're guaranteed to find your floor covering solution with us. We provide free estimates, and did I mention we install too? Like I said, we've got you covered. Kissoons Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Guyana,
Celebrate and appreciate 35 years of ministry with our very own Prophet Eon Greaves. Saturday, April 28th, 2018 at the National Cultural Center, featuring Sean Sobers, Samuel Medas, Miriam C. Williams, Saiku, Kester D, Sherilyn Maloney, and much more. Tickets cost $1,500, $2,000, and $3,000 and are on sale at the National Cultural Center and Kester D Music Center. Doors open from 8 p.m. Sponsored by Hope is Rising and Dens Trading.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go. Welcome back. The Iflood estate met and surpassed its production target for the first crop of 2018. It is one of the 3 states remaining under Gaisuco management after the downsizing that led to the closure of the other estates in 2017. Iflood surpassed the production target after grinding for 7 weeks. In addition to leadership, the rehabilitation of the cultivation, which was started 2 years ago, and revised harvesting procedures in the crop assisted in the estate achieving its target. Iflood produced a total of 7,011 tons of sugar from crushing 84,255 tons of sugar canes. The target set for the estate for the first crop was 6,671 tons. Private sugarcane farmers produced 42% of the crushed sugar canes. In an effort to improve the quality of the Ettering Bank airstrip, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure will be commencing the chemical stabilization of the runway surface sometime during the week of April 22nd, 2018. The exercise will extend for approximately 7 days from the date of commencement. As a result, the runway will be closed during the period of ongoing works. Relevant stakeholders, including residents and village leaders, have already been informed of the closure. One Meadowbrook family accuses their neighbors of harassing them for years, but Esther Sobers tells us that the harassment came to a head last week after an altercation went too far.
Things are uneasy in Meadowbrook's squatting area. According to Nika Kraft, her family is constantly subjected to provocation from their neighbors. Most times the screaming matches ended without violence. However, that all changed after last Tuesday. According to Kraft, a rumor triggered the anger of several members of the community.
My child's father was outside with the baby, carrying the baby for a walk. And when he come back in, he had a boy named Quincy. Call him and say, how you could tell me girl like I said, I don't know anything like you.
The men began to argue and throw objects at each other, but an onlooker encouraged a neighbor to go home, which he did. They assumed the situation was over, but they were wrong.
And when he go home, he had a man come, Jimmy. He come and say, I got born on your house.
Fearful for her life, the young mother, her children, and her disabled sister hid in their bedroom as emboldened neighbors and other villagers stormed into the home and caused massive destruction.
They got born on your house. And when it done, y'all take off the iron door, start pelting and block up all the window. Like 7 of them inside story, woman and men.
When Kraft came outside, the alleged attackers then turned their anger on her.
One I said, chop shop, one I said, show overboard. There's been more to tell him, show board. And me more left on the go to the station here.
While Kraft's mother went to the police station, the neighbors used the time to wreak havoc on the house.
7 of them do the damage. Break up my window, take off my door, my TV, my bridge, burn up my bridge, broke up my barrel, burn up my barrel, broke up my tub, throw away my clothes, burn up my boots. I had something for somebody who was selling in a bag out there, all of the gone with. I can't find her. It's some clothes and shoes and stuff I'm selling for someone. All of the gone with it. I come and find nothing to take my pillow, take the cushion and burn them up on the bridge. And all the doors in the trench, they burnt up and thrown in the trench.
While it was quite evident that the Kraft family is not beloved by their neighbors, the elder Kraft recounted that she's endured various attacks from her neighbors for years.
No, years he's been going through this thing. And the other neighbor next to me too, she's very tormentful. They come together. You can't walk in peace. You can't go out in peace. They're throwing the hymns, they're cussing you. I can't think the thing when you're passing, but sometimes you don't even want to answer these people. You walk your way and gone. You can't walk in peace. Sometimes in your house is once the rock coming up on your house stop. And them shine up your house stop. You can't do that in peace. It's very annoying. I'm very used to it. It's like I'm fed up right now with them. I'm fed up. This is the most miserable neighbor I ever got in my life.
Though the matter was reported to the police, the woman is frustrated that the police are not doing more to apprehend the culprits. According to her, they still traverse the neighborhood daily, and she is deeply concerned for the safety of her disabled daughter, since her house has no door.
She catch fits. I got left in the house with no door. I got to go out. She father don't mind. She father driving a big bus. He don't even look in her direction. And God, he tried punishing nobody. He helping me with her. I got to public assistance and get no help. You understand? It's hard for me. And I got to go. I a single parent. I got to go out there and walk and get things for she eat just because I want she eat. I can't leave she. I got to go. Some days I got to lock shop for go walk. I mean, tell you lie. I can't lie and say I don't lock her up. But I got to lock shop for get help. No help I get. And it's hard for me. And people taking advantage for me. I don't have a husband. It's hard to go out and walk. I don't trust people. But people take advantage for me. It's not now, it's years.
One eyewitness who didn't want to reveal her identity on camera also alleges that she has been verbally attacked by some of the villagers.
Other guy from over there came and bring a hammer. And his words was, I is the devil, I 666. Sending threats, they're going to burn me with acid. When they see me, they're going to beat me, they're going to bust me head and all kind of thing.
Since the incident happened, have you seen the men again?
Yeah, this be patrolling here so whole day up and down every day. Right, but remember, according to what they're saying, is police contacts. So it's nothing coming out the matter. If I call for make a report that they're threatening me passing up and down, and when they realize it's the niece and the sister, they tell me go back to my house. There's no satisfaction. And I know the police is here to serve and give justice. So I don't understand what is that really.
When Channel 2 Headline News visited one of disgruntled neighbors who had taken part in the vandalizing, she declined to appear on camera. Nonetheless, she defended her actions, saying that she was angered and she retaliated. The Kraft family is seeking justice as they feel unsafe in their own home. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Thursday morning, a 23-year-old woman from Mahaika was murdered by her husband. Diomati Prasad of Belmont, Mahaika, East Coast Demerara, was reportedly stabbed to death by her 43-year-old husband, Danraj Maraj. According to the dead woman's mother, Prasad had moved out of her husband's house about a month ago, but he called her to pick up their 2 young children. Reports indicate that Prasad arrived at the home in a taxi to pick up the children. Her husband dragged her out of the car and stabbed her several times. Miraj then locked himself in the house and drank poison. He was taken to the Maikoni Cottage Hospital and remains hospitalized. Be sure to join us after the break for your regional news, international news, and more. Ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Guyana. Celebrate and appreciate 35 years of ministry with our very own Prophet Eon Greaves. Saturday, April 28th, 2018 at the National Cultural Center, featuring Sean Sobers, Samuel Medas, Miriam C. Williams, Saiku, Kester D, Sherilyn Maloney, and much more. Tickets cost $1,500, $2,000, and $3,000 and are on sale at the National Cultural Center and Kester D Music Center. Doors open from 8 p.m. Sponsored by Hope is Rising and Dens Trading.
For all your floor covering needs, Kissoons has you covered. From wall-to-wall carpets, runners, rugs in all sizes and designs, mats for all entranceways, vinyl and rubber tiles too. And with our vast stock and knowledge, you're guaranteed to find your floor covering solution with us. We provide free estimates, and did I mention we install too? Like I said, we've got you covered. Kissoons Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
You know, I'm tired telling you. Stop thief electricity. Shh. Don't shush me. You're gonna kill yourself and burn down people out. Stop, I'm telling you. Stop. This man don't hear you know. Hiya go. Look, I fed up with this stupidness, eh? I gonna fix this one here once and for all. Hello, GPL? Here now, I got a big problem wrong here. They got this chap who continuing to do it. Alright, Skipper, you are under arrest for stealing the electricity.
Are we gonna live now?
People, stealing electricity is dangerous to life and property, and it is also against the law.
The Big King you love just chickened out. Introducing the new Chicken Big King with 2 crispy chicken patties and our signature king sauce. The new Chicken Big King, now part of our Burger King favorites. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Welcome back. Here's BB Backus with our regional and international headlines of the day.
Works on the redevelopment of St. Lucia's Hiwanoa International Airport is expected to start in August of this year. Works are expected to be completed in 2020. Tourism Minister Dominic Freedy explained that with the government soon to sign 2 agreements that would increase the seat capacity to St. Lucia by 3,000 airline seats weekly, which would mean about a 10% increase in the total airlift capacity coming to the destination. Educators in Jamaica are upset over a Ministry of Education circular effectively extending the academic year by 3 days. The ministry said that in order to make up for the lost contact time during the period of March 12 to 14, 2018, schools will only break for Labor Day on May 23, 2018, and resume on Thursday, May 24, 2018. Some teachers have suggested that this action is a direct response to teachers sick out on March 12 to 14 as wage negotiations with the government came to a head. The teachers had staged a protest against the government's wage offer of a 16% increase over 4 years. And in international news, U.S. President Donald Trump says that if his planned talks with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are not fruitful, he will walk out. At a joint news conference, he and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said maximum pressure must be maintained on North Korea over nuclear disarmament. Abe is at the President Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida for talks. Earlier this week, Trump confirmed that CIA Director Mike Pompeo has made a secret trip to North Korea to meet Kim. He says Mr. Pompeo had forged a good relationship with Kim and that the meeting had gone very smoothly. And finally, police in Nigeria have recovered the Senate stolen mace at a flyover in the capital of Abuja. Yesterday, around 11 a.m., unidentified persons stole the ceremonial mace from the Senate floor during a sitting of the parliamentarians. Senate decisions cannot be approved without a mace, a large ornamental staff that represents the legislator's authority. According to the Deputy Senate President, when such incidents occur, it is imperative that the leadership of the National Assembly briefs the presidency immediately. There have also been calls to beef up security in the building. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, Bibi Bacchus.
Now for your 7-day weather forecast and this week's bridge retraction schedule. And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, headlinenewsguyana.com. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast, and Monday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed weekend.